Hello, friends. Okay, I've been out running errands this morning, and I was like, I have to pause and do this live. I know I'm in my car, and I was like, I have to pause and just do this because it's been percolating in my brain ever since I did the polls for you guys yesterday, and I really wanted to learn more about, what your fitness goals are, what your life looks like. And I couldn't help but notice that there's so many of you on here that are moms, that are, you have kiddos under the age of 5, and a lot of you had goals for weight loss and fat loss. So I wanted to talk about that because from what I see, a lot of women think they need weight loss and they think they need fat loss, and that's not actually what they need. So I wanted to talk about that because I think it's really important that we just understand what our bodies are actually going through. And if you've made tiny people, if you've made people in the last 5 years, you probably don't need fat loss, okay? You probably don't need weight loss. You might, but it might not be the best place to start. And I want to talk about why, okay? So to start off, when we are pregnant, okay, and this is happening to me right now, this is normal, okay? When we are pregnant, it is normal to lose muscle tone, okay? One of the main goals of pregnancy workouts is to maintain muscle mass the best you can. And that's hard. That can be really hard for a lot of women for a number of reasons. Number one, food aversions, protein aversions. If you're a mom, if you've made people in the last 5 years, you know that when you're pregnant, the last thing you want to eat is chicken, right? The last thing you want to eat is salmon. The last thing you want to eat is steak. I mean, maybe you do, but a lot of times our protein intake is a little bit lower when we're pregnant just because of food aversions. So that's number one. Number two is hormonally, right? When we are naturally menstruating normally, right? When we're not pregnant, during the course of the month, we have flows in our hormonal cycle in estrogen, progesterone, testosterone, all these different hormones, and different times of the month for us favor muscle building, okay? Which is, again, that tone a lot of women are after. But again, when you're pregnant, you don't have those fluctuations, okay? Towards the tail end of pregnancy, you actually have 6 times the amount of progesterone in your body than you do normally. So a lot of those hormones don't really work in our favor in terms of muscle building, okay? And in terms of, again, muscle tone, right? So that's number 2. Number 3 is our training volume. Y'all, this is exhausting. Excuse me. Making people is exhausting. It is so tiring. So a lot of women can't maintain their training volume. I was talking to my husband the other day, and I was talking about how a year ago, so it's February, a year ago, I was squatting 285 pounds. I was strong as hell, right? And 2 years ago, I was prepping to step on stage. I was prepping for a show. I can't do those things now, right? And so our training volume tends to decrease no matter what type of training you were doing pre-baby. So a lot of women lose muscle tone when they're pregnant. Okay. Hi, Elika. A lot of women lose muscle tone when they're pregnant, and that's normal. Okay. So a lot of times when we wake up 3 years later and we look in the mirror and we've got a little toddler running around, we're going, wow, I don't even recognize that person in the mirror. I look totally different. But we've been conditioned to think, well, that means I need weight loss. That means I need fat loss. We just see flab and we think, oh, I need weight loss, because that's what the fitness industry, the dieting industry would like you to think. That's what they want you to think, because it is very easy. I'm going to be really just candid with you guys. And those of you that know me personally know that blunt is my forte. I'm going to be very candid with you. It is very easy to give someone a high intensity cardio program and put them on 1,200 calories a day and go, look, you lost 10 pounds. You did great. And then walk away. That's a fantastic business model. And if I wasn't ethical, I would probably do that business model, because you would need to keep going back to that same program over and over and over again. And the problem is when you make people and you lose muscle mass, you never end up getting the result you want if you constantly chase weight loss and fat loss, because you're not taking the time to restore that muscle tone that you lost during your pregnancy. And I have so many women that I work with that come to me after baby and they say, nothing's working. Everything I used to do doesn't work anymore. I used to go to Orange Theory 3 days a week. I used to do my Peloton. I used to go to this HIIT class at my gym. I used to run marathons. I used to do this. I used to do that. And nothing's working. And it's because you're not actually after weight loss. You're not actually after fat loss. You're actually after muscle building, and you've never been taught how to do that because the fitness industry doesn't like marketing that to women. It likes to play on our insecurities, and it likes to keep us small. Okay. Let's take this a step further, because it's not just about how you look, right? It's not just about looking in the mirror. When we cut calories, when we do really high intensity workouts in attempt to get fat loss, right? When we put ourselves in those positions and we chase weight loss, we chase fat loss, we are doing some big time damage to our bodies from a hormonal perspective and a structural perspective. So, number one, let's talk about hormones. When we diet, when we do intense exercise, I'm going to get a little sciencey. We are what we call down-regulating our thyroid. Okay, so your thyroid controls your metabolism. All right, so every time you diet, every time you do high-intensity workouts and you're sweating your butt off, you are literally shutting down your thyroid, aka shutting down your metabolism. That's not going to help. Okay, that is not going to help. Number two, you are literally eating up more of your muscle mass. So that muscle tone, again, that you're actually after, you're doing the exact opposite of what you need. When you're doing, again, these high intensity workouts, when you're eating really low calories. And eating low calories might be like, yeah, I did Optavia and I did these really low calorie diets. Or it might be you just forget to eat because you're a mom and that's life, right? It can be intentional or unintentional. But when we do these things, we're actually eating up our muscle mass and getting the exact opposite result from what we want. And this is what actually keeps a lot of women in the perpetual story of my kids ruined my body, of my body is never the same after kids. It actually doesn't have much to do with the kids at all. It has more to do with the fact that they don't know the right routine to actually start to get to where they want to go. They just keep chasing fat loss, and by doing so, they're making the problem worse because they're continually eating up their muscle tone by doing that. Okay, so that's number two. Number three, we have to talk here about bone density. Okay, when we, again, chase weight loss, when we eat low calorie, when we, do these really high intensity workouts, we're setting ourselves up for bone density issues later in life. Okay, when I'm talking about muscle mass, I'm talking about muscle tone. I'm not talking like bodybuilder, like crazy steroids muscles. Like I'm literally talking about the muscle that like supports your lower back, like the muscle that like supports your core, the muscle that, keeps you healthy and strong and prevents bone density issues down the line. We all hear things like, oh yeah, we need to strength train for our muscle mass and or for our bone density. And that's really important for that. And like, we all hear that. But for some reason, when we hear the words muscle mass, it like sends this red alarm in women's brains. Like, no, we don't want that. We don't want to get bulky. We don't want to look like bodybuilders. And that's not what we're after when we're talking about muscle mass. We're talking about literally the muscle mass that protects you from breaking a hip when you're 75. Right? So when we engage in these behaviors, a lot of women don't think about that at 33. That's how old I am. We don't think about that at 33. But in reality, the choices you make right now are what set you up later in life. Okay? So that's the third thing. The fourth thing that these, diets and workouts do to us, and again, if you're a new mom, this is very, very pertinent to you, is they can decrease your milk supply. Okay? So if you're breastfeeding, HIIT workouts, probably not your best idea. Running marathons, probably not your best move. Orange Theory, Peloton, Noom, Optavia, all probably not a great idea. Logging into MyFitnessPal and seeing 1,200 calories pop up for weight loss, probably not a good idea. All of that is going to affect your milk supply, right? I already said that, supply, and quality, right? Because your baby actually needs nutrients. There's someone watching me go live. Hi. I love going live in public. It's so fun. Your baby actually needs nutrients. And if you're constantly trying to work off all these calories and you're trying to work off and get weight loss and achieve weight loss, you're constantly working towards that. You're actually depleting your body of nutrients and therefore depleting your baby of nutrients. So milk supply and quality can decrease. Okay. So why am I even talking about this? Because if you've made people like I am right now in the last 5 years, weight loss and fat loss is probably not going to be your first priority from a fitness perspective. Okay? It should be muscle building, which sounds weird. And most women don't like to hear that. Most women hear muscle building, and again, the red flag alarm goes off. They don't get that, right? And for many women who, again, have made people in the last few years, it's going to start with your core, okay? So a couple resources for you guys. Number one, I am going to be doing I've never done this before, and I'm really excited to do it. I'm going to be doing a hot seat coaching call next week. I have not selected the time yet. It will probably be on Friday, but I'm going to be doing a hot seat coaching call next week. And so I'm going to be having 10 women, that's my max, on a Zoom call. And basically how it's going to work is every woman will have a time slot and you will have the ability to ask me any health, fitness, nutrition based question, and I will give you the answer to that question. And so the benefit of being on a call like this is that, say you're on the call and you have a question about nutrition and you want to talk about sugar intake, and that's your big thing. You ask me the question. Now, not only do you benefit from getting the answer to that question, every woman hears that answer. And so then the next woman asks me something about core training and deep breathing. And you're like, oh, I didn't even think to ask that. You get the knowledge of her question. And then another woman asks me about, again, what we're talking about on this live and getting bulky and, how she's afraid to do that. And there's a mindset block there. You get the benefit of that question. So you're coming onto this call and you get to ask one question and you get my time and my answer, which I will put my full heart into. And if I don't know the answer to the question, I will say that to you and I will send you the answer. I will look it up. I will get super specific with you. I do not believe in answering questions just to satisfy my ego. If I don't know the answer to something, I'm going to look it up. I'm going to find you the freaking answer. Okay. So half of being a professional is knowing what to Google, right? So I will be totally honest. I will get you that answer. But you're coming on and you're asking one question and you get the benefit of hearing from 10 different women who are in the exact same position as you, and you're getting their answer to their question as well. Okay, so 10 women only. I'm going to do the call next week, probably on Friday. Okay, so probably March 3rd, next Friday. If you want in, just DM me hot seat and I will put you on the list. I've never done this before. I'm super, super, super excited to see what 10 women enter my world and do this with me. So that will be next Friday. DM me hot seat if you want in. Okay. The second place you can go for more information is the Strong Over Skinny Moms 21-day bootcamp. I have in that bootcamp multiple modules on education around everything I talked about here, around breastfeeding, around hormones, around milk supply, around your thyroid and your metabolism and how that works, and around muscle building, and talking about the new mom territory, and talking about what your goals should actually be. Right? And how to even form goals. So that program, you can click the link in my bio. It's $397. It's a 21-day boot camp. You have 10 different trainings as a part of that course, and you have lifetime access. So if you right now are, again, listening to this, say you're pregnant and you want to take that course, you can retake it for baby number 1, baby number 2, baby number 10. I don't care. You have that course. You also have access to the Strong Moms Facebook community for live support. So again, click the link in my bio if you want to go take a self-guided course with some live support on this topic. Okay. And then finally, you guys know I have one spot left on my roster for one-on-one coaching. So if you just want to get super specific and you want to get down in the nitty-gritty, you want to have everything personalized, customized exactly to you, go ahead and again, click the link in my bio and you can apply for one-on-one coaching. I only have one spot left. Okay, and this will be a special package for someone who is coming into my world now, because again, I am very pregnant. So if you're coming into my world now, you are going to have a special one-on-one coaching package that will be totally tailored to you, because again, you're coming into my world at a very unique time in my life. So link in the bio and you'll literally see the block that says apply for one-on-one coaching, and you can apply there. So let me know any comments, questions, concerns that you guys have, any questions about this information. This is what I do for a living. So I'm super passionate about this, and I really do truly believe that the world needs strong moms. So I am here for you guys. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I will talk to you soon.